This is the first episode of The History of Walt Disney World, starring John Good. Over 500 years ago, the first employers of Europe charted a course across the Atlantic in the search of a new world. Reaching terra firma along the breezy subtropical landscape they called Florida, a name inspired partially by its lush, verdant, verdant terrain. These early adventurers, designated by Peninsula as a destination for those seeking opportunity and enchantment. Here, age-old myths abounded. The most famous legend told of the mystical spring, whose originating waters could restore one's youth. We were most suspicious alarmers to Florida too, including a favorable year-around climate and stunning vistas of wetlands, islands, and bays. No doubt the intelligence intelligent intelligent peoples of North America, who initially inhabited the region's vast wilders, took similar delight in its abundance of forests, sparkling waters, and lustrous deep blue seas. Throughout the subsequent centuries, this was a dream of Florida, and a land of promise and renewal, aptly characterized by pioneer Miami photographer J.N. Chamberlain as a place where health, happiness, and opportunity await you. How else? Nowhere else may one find the joy of relaxation, rest, or recreation so fully satisfied in Florida. The Disney family ventured to this island as well as pursuit of their own dreams. It wasn't Walt or Roy O. Disney who took over the early ambitious steps, but rather their parents and grandparents who ventured into Central Florida, planting familial roots within the woodlands and wonders of the Sunshine State. True kismet. In the mid-1800s, with the expanded rail and steamship travel opening access to the central parts of Florida, clusters of small camps and settlements sprung up along the St. Johns River in what turned into a moderate boom. Hardy homesteaders surviving off of sheer perseverance started new lives among the slash alpine flatwoods and scrubs, where citrus crops and cattle farms soon provided hard yet promising livelihoods. Among the region's early settlers during the Golden Era were Charles and Henrietta Call, who arrived in the autumn of 1884 with their five youngest children: Jessie, Flora, Gracie, Lila, Julia, and Charles Jr. The several winters in Alice, Kansas, were too much of our parents, Jessie later wrote, especially after they had experienced one of those terrible blizzards, where the furniture in the house was used for wood to keep from freezing, and a clothes line connecting house and barn to guide them in order to care for the stock. Following the calls of their journey southeast was a neighbor, Campbell Disney, and his son Ellis, who had become cemented with Flora. The calls settled a plot of a rolling pineland near the town appropriately named Kismet, a Turkish word meaning destiny, where life centered around a local sawmill, vegetable farms, a grist mill, and a hotel. After keeping with his neighbor's move, Campbell Disney returned home to Kansas, but alas decided to remain in Florida to court Flora, purchasing in his own acreage south of Calls to finding work as a rural mail carrier. Charles Call and his children served as local school teachers. Alas and Flora are married on New Year's Day in 1888 and honeymooned at Daytona Beach. No more rising before down to face to fierce, bone-numbing winter. Observed biographer and legendary entertainment reporter Bob Thomas were describing his stage of the young couple's life years later. All around them is luxuriant greenery they had never seen before. Palms, ferns, orange groves, grass that remained the green year round, and armored with the Atlantic coast. Ellis sold his farm and bought a hotel in Daytona. It was there that a couple welcomed their first son, Herbert, in December. A slump of tourism, however, forced of Disney's to end their brief stint in the hospitality field. So Ellis returned instead of raising oranges, but then came into the big freeze, which destroyed this crop. Unsuccessful with their early business ventures, Ellis and Flora pulled up stakes with stakes and left their Florida paradise for Chicago, where an upcoming World Fair seemed to promise new jobs and opportunities. Once, once in a windy city, the Disneys will come their other four children, including Roy O. in 1893 and Walt, the youngest brother, in 1901. As for Kismet, the town vanished long ago and cannot even be found on any present-day state map. After a drought and freeze decimated the area in early 1898. In the early 1890s, the early settlements disappeared as quickly as they sprung up. Residents left with what they could carry on their backs, in many cases leaving behind their homes intact. Abandoned town and its neighboring settlements would eventually be overtaken by the impenetrable scrub of what later became an Ocala National Forest. But while this pastoral landscape might not have been in Disney family's ultimate destiny. May not have been a Disney family's ultimate destiny. Central Florida certainly will be eventually. For little could the early settlers of Kismet predict that some just some 50 miles due south of their land, Walt Disney would find an ideal spot of this new world. It would be the place of enchantment and opportunity, of myth and legend, then one that would again attract people from all over the world, a place where a long-fabled source of eternal youth would at last be untapped.